hockey fans. Welcome to another deep dive, and today we're going north of the border.
Indeed we are.
We're doing a deep dive on Canadian NHL teams and their Stanley Cup victories.
Sounds like a good one.
Yeah, we're talking about like heart of hockey, like Canada and the Stanley Cup. I mean, they're like intertwined, right?
Absolutely essential Canadian history right there.
So which teams have actually like won it all and who's still like, chasing that dream?
The eternal question.
Yeah, let's start off with the Montreal Canadiens.
The Habs.
Yeah, like the Kings, the undisputed kings of the Stanley Cup. I mean, with a whopping 24 wins.
Unbelievable.
It's more than any other team in NHL history.
I like to put that into perspective. They've practically won a Stanley Cup for every decade the NHL has existed.
That's crazy.
It really is.
They're a true dynasty.
Oh, for sure. Especially you think back to the 1950s, they had this incredible run.
Oh, yeah.
They won 5 cups in a row.
5 straight.
Talk about a dynasty.
That's crazy. But, their last win was back in 1993.
That's a while ago.
It is. And that was actually the last time a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup.
You're right.
Will their fans have to wait much longer for another victory?
It's hard to say, but the anticipation is definitely building.
It is, for sure. So, okay, we've got Montreal at the top with the most wins.
At the top of the mountain.
Yeah. But what about those Toronto Maple Leafs?
Yes. The Leafs. Always a contender.
They're sitting at 13 Stanley Cup victories, which is,
Not too shabby.
no, not bad at all. Second only to the Canadiens.
Exactly.
But here's the thing. Their last win was way back in 1967.
Oof. Yeah, that's a long drought.
It is. Can they overcome it?
That's the $1 million question.
It is. I mean, think about it since 1967.
A lot's happened.
A lot has changed in the world of hockey.
For sure. The game itself has evolved, the players, the strategies.
Everything. But, maybe this current roster, they have, they got some talent.
Oh, absolutely.
Could they maybe, pull off something amazing and bring the cup back to Toronto?
Well, they certainly have the potential.
They do. All right, so we've talked about the Canadiens. We've talked about the Maple Leafs.
To the originals.
Now we got to talk about the Edmonton Oilers.
The Oilers, a team that just screams excitement.
They do, and especially, back in the 1980s.
The era of Gretzky and Messier.
Oh, yeah.
It was pure magic.
It was, and they really dominated in the 80s. They won 5 Stanley Cups during that decade.
5 Stanley Cups. Just incredible.
It is. I mean, Gretzky, the great one.
Arguably the best player to ever grace the ice.
Oh, yeah. And then you got Messier, their captain, leading the charge.
A true force of nature on the ice.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, talking about the Oilers, you got to look at their current roster.
They've got some firepower there.
Yeah, I mean, with McDavid and Draisaitl.
2 of the most dynamic players in the league.
Could they maybe lead the Oilers to another championship?
It's definitely within the realm of possibility.
It is. All right, now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the Calgary Flames.
The Flames.
Yeah.
Another team with a rich history and a passionate fan base.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And, of course, their legendary rivalry with the Oilers.
Battle of Alberta.
One of the most intense rivalries in sports history.
Boy, for sure. And it wasn't just about hockey either.
No, it went beyond the sport.
It was a clash of, like identities and economies and, like a real sense of, Alberta pride on the line.
Absolutely. It tapped into something deeper, something primal.
Makes you wonder if we'll ever see a rivalry like that again.
It's hard to replicate that kind of intensity.
Yeah. So, all right, so we've covered some of the big names in Canadian hockey. What about some of the other teams, like the Winnipeg Jets, the Vancouver Canucks, the Ottawa Senators?
All great teams in their own right.
Yeah, they haven't won a Stanley Cup yet.
Not yet.
But they all have these dedicated fan bases.
Oh, for sure.
And they've got some pretty talented players.
Could one of them be the next to bring the cup back to Canada?
It's a possibility, And the Jets, they've come close.
Yeah, that 2018 playoff run was pretty special.
They made it to the Western Conference Finals.
Really showed their resilience and determination.
Yeah. And the Canucks, they almost had it back in 94.
So close.
Just one game away.
Heartbreaking for the fans.
It was.
Yeah.
But it just shows you, like, the hunger is there,
Oh, yeah. The passion for hockey runs deep in Canada.
It really does.
Yeah.
And the Senators, while they haven't reached the finals yet,
Not yet.
they've consistently made the playoffs.
Showing their commitment to excellence.
Yeah. So, what does this all mean?
What's the takeaway?
Well, I think it means that the future of Canadian hockey is incredibly bright.
Couldn't agree more.
There's so much talent and passion across all these teams.
Every season is a new chapter in this ongoing story.
It is.
Yeah.
So the big question is, who will be the next to raise the Stanley Cup?
Another team steeped in history or a rising underdog looking to make their mark?
Who knows? But one thing's for sure, it's going to be an exciting ride.
Absolutely. The drama, the intensity, the passion.
That's what Canadian hockey is all about.
It's in their blood.
So to all you hockey fans out there, keep exploring, keep cheering, and keep your eyes on the ice.
Because in the world of Canadian hockey, the next chapter is always just around the corner.
That's right, folks. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Canadian NHL teams and their Stanley Cup dreams.
Until next time.
Keep your sticks on the ice.